What's up guys, my name is Ace, and today we're going to be having a look at long shots in Modern Warfare. This one's for all the camo grinders out there. This time around with Modern Warfare, every single one of the ranged weapons in this game, with the exception of launchers, requires you to get Longshot medals to unlock a set of camos. Additionally, each class of weapon behaves completely differently as far as how the Longshot kills work. And since I've had quite a few people asking me what the limitations are on those Longshot kills, I wanted to cover that in today's video and share a few tips for you. Now, the first thing to mention is in Modern Warfare, we don't have the medals that pop up on screen when you get long shots like we've had in the recent several years with Call of Duty. Instead, the way you find out if you got a Longshot kill is with the yellow text that appears after you get a kill. If it pops up and says Longshot, then you got a Longshot. If it doesn't, then you didn't get a Longshot. And you can use this to adapt accordingly in-game. Now that's super straightforward. The stuff that's really important here is the range required for you to get a Longshot with each of the different weapon classes in this game. So let's dive into that, and we'll kick it off with SMGs. For SMGs, you have to be at least 30 meters away from your target to get a Longshot medal, and this is what 30 meters looks like on the right-hand side. Any closer than this, and it will not count as a Longshot. As for assault rifles, it's a little bit further away at 37.5 meters. The same thing actually applies to LMGs as well. This is also 37.5 meters, and on top of that, marksman rifles are also 37.5 meters when it comes to your minimum Longshot distance. So that's a range we really want to be paying attention to since it applies to so many of the guns in this game. 37.5 meters is a very important range value. Moving on to the next weapon class though, this is the sniper rifles, and with this, you're required to be at least 50 meters away from your target to get a Longshot medal. So you do have to be pretty far away with sniper rifles, but on the bright side, these are designed to excel beyond 50 meters. This brings us to pistols, and with pistols, you don't really have to be too far away from your target. The minimum Longshot distance is just 20 meters. And then finally, this just leaves us with the shotguns, which I was quite surprised to see that you actually need Longshot medals for this. The minimum Longshot distance for shotguns is 12.5 meters. So if you've got slug rounds available for your shotgun, I would highly recommend it because this is definitely outside of the effective range of the base shotguns in this game. So that covers it for the minimum range required to get Longshot medals for each of the weapon classes. However, taking this another step further, I also tested this with various attachments, especially the attachments that would have an impact on your range values, because in some previous Call of Duty games, this would actually impact the distance required to get a Longshot medal. However, in Modern Warfare, attachments have no effect whatsoever on your Longshot distance. So I've heard some people recommending putting a suppressor on your gun because apparently that reduces the distance required to get a Longshot medal. That's not the case at all. And what this means is using long barrel attachments, the ones that increase your damage ranges, also have no impact on the distance required to get a Longshot medal, yet it will make those long shots easier because you have longer damage range. And therefore, that's the first tip that I have for you guys. If you are struggling to get those Longshot medals, always try to stack attachments that increase your damage ranges. This is definitely going to make things easier if you're going to be sitting back and trying to pick those people off at range. On top of that, on that same note of attachments, I do encourage you to use attachments that help with aiming stability. Normally, I don't typically use the aiming stability attachments just because my playstyle is more so like up close and personal, but if you're actively trying to hang back and pick those people off at longer ranges, it really helps to have your gun nice and stable so that you get that first shot accuracy, and then from there you can try and stay on target and finish your kill. Speaking of staying on target to finish your kill, another tip that I have for you guys, for those of you guys that might be struggling with long shots, is play hardcore game modes. In core, especially at really long ranges, oftentimes you have to hit like 5 to 8 shots in order to get a kill within the long shot range, depending on the weapon class that you're using. And that can be pretty difficult, especially with SMGs at really long ranges. It can be difficult to stay on target for 7 or 8 shots. In hardcore game modes, it's generally just going to take you 1 to 2 bullets to kill, even at really long ranges, and therefore it's much easier to get long shot kills in those modes. As for another tip that I have for you guys, and this one's actually kind of great because in many cases it will hit 2 birds with 1 stone. A great idea if you're set up in a position to get long shot medals, be sure to also mount your gun if you have a surface available to mount on. This is great in 2 different ways. First off, for most of the guns in the game, you also need mounted kills to get camos, so if you're already grinding those Longshot camos, you might as well also get mounted kills at the same time and work towards those camo challenges. But on top of that, when you mount your gun, this helps with your aiming stability as well as your recoil control, so it's going to make it easier to hit those targets at longer ranges. Now, this isn't going to work in every situation where you're set up for a long shot kill, but it's just something to be aware of if you see the opportunity to mount on something while also locking down a longer line of sight, then definitely take advantage of that and work on 2 camo challenges at the same time. Now, the final long shot tip that I have for you guys is quite simple and might be obvious to a lot of you out there. This is play ground war. Ground war takes place on massive maps, and there are a ton of opportunities to keep yourself at a distance while also getting a good number of kills. There's lots of kills to go around, so all you have to do is find a good position to set yourself up in where you're going to be seeing people at a distance, and you should have no problem whatsoever picking off those long shot kills. Having said this, with the way the maps are designed in this game, even the somewhat smaller 6v6 maps, there are plenty of lines of sight that you can set yourself up in that are well beyond 37.5 meters, which, like I said, that's the range that you need for most of the guns in the game. But even the 50-meter range for sniper rifles, on most of the 6v6 maps, there are several great positions you can be set up in where you're going to get a line of sight on high traffic areas that are 50 meters. In recent years with Call of Duty, you absolutely couldn't say the same thing, and with my long shot videos in the past, I would actually go on every single map and show you all the best spots for getting long shot medals, and that's just because there weren't very many of those lines of sight to go around. I considered doing that for this video, but as I started looking for those spots, I realized there were just so many potential spots on almost every one of the 6v6 maps that it would just be completely overkill for a video like this, and the video would end up being like 25 minutes long. So really, it's pretty straightforward getting these long shot medals in Modern Warfare. I gave you a few tips there if you are struggling to get those, but generally speaking, long shots really aren't that bad in this game, in my opinion. And with that, that's going to wrap it up for today's really quick video on the long shot medals in this game. I'd like to know in the comment section below, first off, are there any other camo challenges that you're really struggling with that you could use some tips on? Because in the future, I'm absolutely open to covering more tips for those things. And also, did any of these results surprise you on the long shot medals in Modern Warfare? Just let me know those thoughts in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed the video, a like rating is always appreciated, and don't forget to subscribe for more if you haven't already. I'll talk to you guys next time.